everyone, Jolene here from Bookworm Adventure Girl. Welcome back. I hope that you are all well, and if you are new, thanks so much for checking out my channel. Please hit subscribe and stick around. Today I am going to talk about 8 books that, for different reasons, I didn't finish in 2022, and I'm going to chat about whether or not I will read them in 2023. I would say that ultimately the goal is always to read them, but I guess I'm looking to all of you to maybe help me out in prioritizing them, since there's a lot of books that I could be reading. So let's take a look at this list. First up is House of Leaves by Mark Z. Danielewski. Sina from Beating Around the Books was hosting a read-along. I loved the idea of doing this as a group read because this is supposed to be a very unique book. It is, just the formatting alone. It's very different, and there's various ways of reading it. So some people in the group had read it before, some of them multiple times. So I was really looking forward to having that experience, as a first-time reader. And I started reading it. And I was even surprised at how easily it was to read it. And then I didn't get very far before something else, probably bright and shiny, got in the way. So I'm anticipating really enjoying this when I do get back to it. That is true for this next book as well, Pachinko by Min Jin Lee. I think it was April of 2022, Gemma from Gemma Books hosted a read-along, and I was so excited because this had been on my radar for quite a while, and I read the first 2 parts. I was loving it. The group discussion was great, and then I was kind of ahead in the reading, and this is where my downfall was, because I decided to stop reading Pachinko and wait for other people to catch up, and then I never went back to it. So this is one that now at this point, I think I'm going to have to go and start all over again, but I am okay with that because I think this has potential to be a 5-star read for me. I'm keeping my fingers crossed that will be true. Let me know if you have read this and what you think. So next on the list is a classic, Great Expectations by Charles Dickens. I forgot to grab it, so I will put a picture up. I actually read this book as a teenager, and I can't really remember anything about it. I've seen a movie adaptation, but really, if you had asked me what this is about, I could not give you a good synopsis. So I was so excited when Art from A Bookshelf Odyssey was hosting a read-along, and he had a great reading schedule with videos to go with them. And it's really fantastic, and Art is a ginormous fan of Charles Dickens. So I love hearing him talk about something that he is, passionate about. And I was a little late to the party and had attempted to play catch up, and I made it about 4 or 5 videos in, I think. And then something else took my attention and I never got back to it. So my plan, we'll see how this goes. My plan is to read along using Art's videos to get more out of it and actually finish it this time. Next is The Luminaries by Eleanor Catton. This was a group read with the Up to No Good book club, which is with Sandy from Miss Reads a Lot, Shelly from Shelly Swearingen's Library, Fraser from Fraser Simon's Springboard Thought, and I think AJ from AJ Dunn Reads and Writes read this with us as well, along with our friends Deb, Sonia, and Angela. So this is another book that sat on my shelf for a very long time. I got through, I would say, not quite halfway, and then for some reason never finished it. And I know that the group really enjoyed this book. A few of them gave it 5 stars, and I was also enjoying it, but I realized that I wasn't really giving it the time to really appreciate what was going on, both with the writing, which I think is fantastic, and also with the story. So my hope is to get back to this year. Next up will not be surprising to anyone who has watched my channel since last year anyway. House in the Cerulean Sea by T.J. Klune. I got over halfway through this book, and for the first time in a long time, I just put it aside and didn't finish it. I was not enjoying it at all. I know this is a well-loved book by many, and I have also experienced times where I wasn't enjoying a book, and when I tried it again, I ended up loving it. So I'm hoping that will be the case with this one. I will eventually give this book another chance. We'll see how it goes. If you loved this, let me know what you think. If you didn't love it, let me know what you think. The next buddy read was with Michael from Michael Romeo Talks Books, and him and I attempted The Three Musketeers by Alexandre Dumas. I had read about, I want to say 17 or 18 chapters when Michael was like, "How's it going?" And I was like, "It's okay, but I'm not loving it." And Michael wasn't loving it either. So we decided to abandon the buddy read. We have one coming up though, so we're going to make up for that. With this one, I understood the story and everything, but it wasn't capturing me. And sometimes when this happens, it's because I'm not in the right mood or the right frame of mind for it. So that's the thing about being a mood reader. So I am willing to give this another chance at some point because I do want to read it. I don't know when that will be. I don't know when it'll happen. Maybe this year, but maybe not. Next, I have Watership Down by Richard Adams. Olly from Criminale was doing a read-along of this, and I had the best intentions to be part of it. I think I did crack the book open, maybe once, maybe twice, and just never got back to it. So I feel like I never even really started this and never really gave it the chance that it deserved, so it's still on my shelf waiting. I'm sure there will be another time that I can get to it. And then the last book on my list is Yes, I Can by Sammy Davis Jr. This is the book that my mom read probably before I was born, which is a very big deal because I've said this many times, but my mom is not a reader at all. So the fact that she had read this book and enjoyed it and still talks about it all this time later is very significant. So it's because of her high praise that I had picked up this book, probably, I think about 20 years ago, at least. And it has sat on my shelf all this time. So for Nonfiction November last year, I had asked Mom if she wanted to read it with me. She agreed, and I even got the audio for it so that, she wouldn't have to listen to me read, and I could follow along in the book. Well, we never got past chapter 3. So Mom really wasn't interested all the time, and while I waited for her to get interested, I read other books for Nonfiction November, which were great, and here this one sits. So this is still a book that I do want to read and finish, and it will just have to be, I think, without my mother. So we'll see. Maybe this Nonfiction November. So those are the 8 books that I didn't finish in 2022. That I may or may not get to in 2023. Please let me know if you have read any of these. Are they worth going back to, giving them a second chance, and maybe finally finishing them? Which ones do you think I should prioritize? That's maybe the key. And are there any books that you didn't finish last year that you hope to read in 2023? I look forward to chatting with you in the comments. Thanks again for watching. I hope you enjoy the rest of your day, and don't forget to make every day an adventure.